to Road 5 Rundown with Chris and Brandon. It's Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. Time to go through the sales.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Hello there.
Welcome, my friends.
Welcome to another episode of Rogue 5 Rundown.
With Chris and Brandon.
Live.
I think this is episode 15.
Correct. I got the correct nomenclature on the title, so hopefully it's 15. For those of you out there, just remind us if it's not. So what's going on? Anything new?
It's kind of been a slow week for me with sales. I kind of sat back and I've been letting John Rula take the page over.
Yeah, I've been doing the same. It's like I sit there at work and I'm like, oh, let me listen. I'm like, oh, John Rula's listed a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I'm okay for now.
Yeah, and then with Hakes coming up right now, and the Jeffrey Jacobs collection ending tomorrow, I believe, the 15th.
The Jacobson?
I'm like, people are going to be saving for that. Ruler is draining everyone's wallet, so I'm like, I'm just going to wait until this is all over and start listing some stuff.
Correct. Same here. We're trying to list like smaller, oddball items that don't cost as much.
Correct.
To clear out some room.
Yes.
So
I need to do that.
This is a speaking of Rula, this is a Rula figure that was sold on the page, and we'll jump right into it. This is I picked this one out because it's I think it's a small head Lando. The thimble head is what it's called. This is a Polish bootleg General Lando in green from 1980s, CAS 70.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty neat. I mean, I haven't seen one of these before, and I didn't know that they made the head so small. This reminds me of the small head Han.
Yeah, you don't really see a lot of Landos, and this kind of is that the General Lando head, or is that like the Lando Bespin head?
I don't know. It
might not even be the same head, but I could be completely wrong about that too.
I think it's like a mix of both. No teeth version, anyway.
Yeah, you don't really see a lot of Landos, but I don't really think they go for a lot of money. So,
yep, 175 shipped. CS 70, not a bad price on that. Moving on to another Rula production. I picked this one out because this is a even though it's not 80s, it is 1990s. It's semi-articulated Russian bootleg. So I picked this one out because I don't see too many Russian bootlegs like this being on the page, besides the Oratet neon ones that are atrocious. So
yeah,
pistols molded to the figure's hand. They have been discussed on SWCA and elsewhere, potentially based on the Oratet AT-AT driver bootleg. Tough to find. Took a few years of searching. Yeah, surprisingly, this is still for sale, I guess. I thought somebody would have picked this up by now, but very weird looking and very odd. So this is one of the things that I like because it's definitely something you never see.
I've never seen these before. I've never heard of them. I've seen John's collection in person about 10 times, and I don't remember ever seeing this, even at his house.
Well, I think he's got so much stuff that I think that he doesn't even have room to display it all. So this might have been in a drawer.
Probably. I'm just wondering what else comes in this line because I've never even seen these before.
I know. This is a CAS 90 third-gen Polish bootleg AT-ST driver in black. So price was reduced on this. The reason why I'm showing this one is that because this was graded with the wrong weapon. Apparently, this is graded with a modern, like retro series or modern Power of the Force.
Yeah, I cannot believe that CAS actually got that wrong.
Yeah, that's a little weird that they would do that. But everybody makes mistakes on that. But that's kind of weird. So make sure that you do your research on these to ensure that you are buying the right things. So,
it looks like a 2018 grade, so it's not the retro collection.
Yeah,
I don't think it was out back then, but definitely Power of the Force 2. There we go.
Power of the Force 2, Luke Skywalker, Dark Empire Comics Expanded Universe pistol.
There you go.
No clue how this got encased. Anyway, yeah. So. do your research, folks. If you're going to buy some stuff, make sure that you're sending the right stuff to get graded, and make sure that what you get back from the grading company is, in fact, what you submitted. I've heard plenty of horror stories, not from CAS, but from other grading companies that switch out weapons on purpose and keep them good ones and send you back repro, right?
Even when items are graded, you still have to look it all over and check it out.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of figures that have been graded with weapons that they're not supposed to be graded with. So, and the label says it that way. So we have personal experience with that. Moving on, this is a Palitoy Transition Hybrid Tri-Logo 70 back A Snaggletooth. So you can say that 3 times.
So I believe there's 2 of these. It's the red Snaggletooth, and then it's a Cloud Car Pilot or Black Bespin Guard.
Something to do with the blister being weird.
I forgot which one it is, but yeah, the back, as you can see, is a backing of a Tri-Logo, and then the front is like a hybrid of a Jedi. So I think it might be a Bespin Guard as the other one. But yeah, these are, cool cards. Obviously, as always, highly collectible, especially in this grade, as he said, 1 of 14.
None graded higher.
Yep, none graded higher, but it's still 1 of 14.
Except the 13 other ones.
So,
all right, here we have another bootleg. We're switching into the Mexicano line here with the semi-articulated Mexican bootleg. I picked this one out because
the color.
I mean, this is kind of, to me, this doesn't look like it would be that rare because I've seen plenty of these figures that are cast in like this plastic. But I think the coolest part was that it had a clear blaster.
Yeah.
Or maybe the blaster is missing and I just can't tell. But I think it's got a clear blaster. But it looks like one.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these in person. I used to own a lot of these in my collection, but I never had a Greedo, especially with a clear blaster like that.
Yeah, it's very, very neat. The clear blaster, I think, is what sells me on that one. So that one sold for $205. Okay, let's see.
Seems like a good price.
CS85 3rd Gen Polish bootleg Luke X-Wing. Sold for $275. That's 85 grade on that's pretty nice. 3rd Gen is 90s, right?
Yeah. This is like the John Rula bootleg show right now.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get some other ones up here. But I like that all these bootlegs, they all use the same Biker Scout pants or legs and arms.
And the Luke X-Wing does come in a lot of different colors. Colors.
So that's old. All right. Here's we're getting away from the John Rula bootleg show to something a little different that we list on the page. Battlestar Galactica. This is what is this, Chris?
It's a board game from Parker Brothers. I want to say it's the late 70s, mid 70s, and the board was complete. It had everything. These don't go for a lot of money, unfortunately. $10 and then plus shipping. But I thought it was pretty cool, and I was like, usually stuff like this, I don't really want to waste my time listing it on the page and then shipping it. But it's vintage. It's pretty cool. I knew someone would want it, so I just slapped it up.
I don't really do the board games too much, but I only do them if the art on the front there, because I have a couple of the Alien ones.
Yeah, it's cool.
And those I like the art on that. I don't do the Star Wars ones either, but I did buy a Yoda game because it had the really nice art on the front. I honestly don't even care if they're complete or not. I just like the front, the cover there has, and this Battlestar Galactica one has a real nice one with the ship on there and the good art. I think Indiana Jones has another good one on there for a nice display piece, but they do take up a lot of room. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to get something for your collection, and you're not going to fit this in one of the display cases, unless you have a big case. So we sell everything on the page. We have rogue5toys.com. As you can tell, we want to dabble in a little bit of everything. because we know that not everybody collects Star Wars and not everybody wants to collect Star Wars all the time. So we try to do different things on the page, and with the collections that I get and that Chris gets, sometimes we get little things mixed in there. So this is one of the things that I picked up was these 2-inch PVC figures of Care Bears. I think they are might have been cake toppers or something like that, but I don't know if they are, because when I looked at them, they're very well made. Usually a cake topper, they're kind of, super cheap plastic
Yeah.
made for a birthday cake. These actually look like figures that were released on a card. So they're highly collectible. Obviously, this sold within seconds of me listing it because people love Care Bears, and especially if you got young kids. So
I remember having these growing up. My sister collected them, when she was a kid, and me and my brother always came across these.
I listed these last night, and my wife is the only time must have ever looked on the page, because she's like, "You just listed Care Bears?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Where'd you get those?" I was like, "From one of your boxes in the garage." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "No, I'm just joking." I'm like,
Oh, God.
I'm like, "What? Did you want me to save these for you? Because I just listed them." She's like, "No, I don't want it." I'm like, "Okay, well, they're not yours anyway, but let me know if there's something you want."
Yeah,
So,
you get first claim.
yeah. So I told her that I had a box of strawberry shortcake figures in a little house that I picked up as well, and because she said that she had a bunch of those when she was growing up. But
My wife will see my listings all day because it pops up on her feed. I don't think she's ever liked anything in her life.
yeah, no, I didn't say my wife liked it. She just
Yeah.
commented on, "Why are you
Just
selling
like-
Care Bears?"
She just refuses to ever like anything, comment, support something.
Nothing, not even a little heart
Nothing.
emoji. This was an Aliens Kenner 1993 Queen.
Yeah, they all came out like 92, 93. They had a bunch of figures that came out with this line, and then there was they made some figures that was going along with a comic book that they were going to put out with other stuff that never ended up happening. So I just put 93 for all these, but this was the Queen Alien. I got a whole collection of alien stuff in. This one sold.
Wild Boar Alien.
Yeah. This one's actually really cool though, because when he bends over like that to go in attack mode, the spikes come out.
Yeah,
So,
I think I had a bunch of these growing. These were always really cool. This was to me the most accurate one. Obviously, because there's nothing like this in the movie, but
this one's more like old fashioned looking with the pose. This came from the Alien Predator 2-pack.
Yeah.
They sell for about $35-$40 if you look them up. And this is pretty much the most known alien figure that people like to collect.
Really, 35 or 40, man. I get these in all the time. I didn't know they go for that much.
Oh yeah, they sell all day on eBay for $40 plus shipping.
Damn. I see them all the time. Here's a Night Cougar alien, and then here's a Crab alien. The colors on this one's super nice.
Yeah, that actually comes with a missile that shoots out of the chest, but it didn't have the missile.
All right, getting back to Star Wars here real quick. This is a Spanish PvP Fat Lips Bossk with the lipstick on there. What do you know about this one?
So this is the Spanish version, the PvP. They have a POC version, which is the green toxic limbs that everyone knows. That's very rare and valuable. This is the Fat Lips one. So when you look at his face, it kind of looks like he's wearing lipstick. It's a much thicker, red mouth that goes across. Highly collectible. They are very expensive. There's definitely not a lot of these, but not as rare as the toxic limbs. $550. I've sold a lot of these. I think they sell for about $400 to $450 loose. So, graded for that price is pretty good.
Yeah. Not a bad deal there. For $550 for UKG 85. It is UKG, but I'm sure you can get that regraded.
Yeah, UKG an old case, but they do sell for $400 to $450 loose ungraded.
There's another set of curtains. I found a bunch of curtains. I raided this old lady's house, and she had curtains and bed sheets everywhere. I don't know what her deal was, but it was my grandmother's house. And I stole all these
really
off the
nice.
windows.
These look like they're really nice though, like clean.
Very nice, very clean. If they were used, you can't even tell, honestly. But yeah, like I said, we list a lot of stuff on the page, and oddball stuff is one of them. These sold already. These sell pretty quick, believe it or not. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I got a lot of wall memorabilia coming up. I even picked up some wallpaper. So
I mean,
we'll see where that goes.
Most people will know when they realize like we need to list oddball items that are cheaper. If we just list expensive stuff after one another,
Mhm.
there's only so much money that people can spend in a day, a week, and a month. So you have to have filler, and this is a perfect example of filler. It's something that's highly collectible, but a lot cheaper that most people can afford $50
Yeah.
to who wants to collect this.
And a lot of people have windows in their house.
But they're probably not putting these up on their windows. At least I hope not, but who knows?
I think the guy who bought them might be doing that. We'll see. And last but not least, we'll do a Yoda on here, gray head, ESB baggy. If you look closely, you can see the gray head. Yeah, I've used that line before. CS 85 for 700 shipped. Great deal on that baggie because I think that's a very hard baggie to find, and especially with the gray head, which is it's just a degraded figure, but it's highly sought after because of the gray head. The grayer, the better.
Is that like only a certain factory when it degrades will turn gray? Okay.
You know how it is.
Yeah, but yeah, that's sold in 85 grade. Actually, I know the orange snake is actually more harder to get in a baggie than the brown snake, but the ESB A baggies are always highly collectible. The A ones.
These are the ones. These are the ones that came in that box with the image on the front, with the you know what I mean.
In the Vader carrying case?
No. The box they're an ESB box, and it has like the 6 figures on the front, and they're either
oh, I know what you're talking
like a red background or a yellow background.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I always like those boxes. I'm always trying to look for one of those boxes.
Oh, just the boxes alone can be $500.
Yeah,
$600 probably.
But anyway, looks like our time is slowly coming up there, and it's covered about 12 or more items there with some aliens and a lot of different things sprinkled in. So again, we're rogue5toys.com. We are part of a bigger podcast, 580's Talking Toys, which airs on Sundays, Wednesdays, Wins and Whists, airs on Wednesdays. Chris, your brother's favorite. What is it? Three or two idiot. What is it?
3 idiots talking trailers whenever they decide to actually do it. We have a Patreon page. No, it's not weekly. It should be weekly, but it's not. We have a Patreon page / // 5 idiots talking toys.
Correct.
And you can go on there and join Patreon. You can see all of our collections early, get videos 24 hours in advance, be the first ones to join 5 Idiots After Dark, where we talk a lot of nasty stuff and some other cool things.
I don't know about nasty stuff. We don't talk about,
I'm just trying to get people pumped up wanting to actually join.
We don't talk about what goes on in the After Dark room.
Correct.
But it's nothing too crazy. So you can feel free to watch and subscribe to that and give you access to that. So yes, please join us and collect with us at all those places. And I will see you guys next week, right?
Thank you. We'll be back on Fridays if John Walden stops going on vacation.
Correct. Bye-bye.
Bye.